Chairperson. It's a great joy to be with you, and thank you very much for the kind welcome. On the first question, are podcasts a problem? I would strongly resist that framing. And I would suggest that we need to view podcasts as a potential island of excellence within the South African economy right now. When we consider the very difficult position in which the South African economy finds itself, podcasts have risen as Black-led, independent, and financially sustainable economic entities. And I think that's a particularly important island of excellence that not only we need to think about regulating, but that we need to consider how we actually assist and help, not just from a truth perspective, but from an economic perspective. So I'd strongly resist the urge to characterize podcasts as some kind of problem, and I would rather invite us to consider how we treat them as an emerging exemplar of excellence in the country at the moment, warts and all. As far as the regulatory question goes, I think we have to be very careful here to consider what it is that we are regulating. And for me, there are three distinct areas of regulation that are apt. The first is you regulate harm. And those kind of harms are dignity harms like hate speech or defamation. So what are we regulating? We're trying to regulate some kind of harm here to people's dignity. And there, for me, we have very effective ways through our courts of regulating egregious assaults on people's dignity and defamation. And the question I would ask is, why do we think that those existing mechanisms, which are enforced through an independent judiciary, are inappropriate in this case? So in terms of the regulation of overt harms like hate speech or defamation, we have regulations. The other thing we would regulate is explicitness, overt violence, foul language, inappropriate nudity. And there really is a need to regulate. But there, for me, platforms already regulate to a large extent. If they don't, then I think that that may be an area that we need to speak about more seriously. Again, there are also legal regulations for egregious violations of those areas of regulation.
Can you pause for a moment?
But also
Sure.
Yeah, because now it seems like it's going forever, this clip, but we're going to resume.
Yeah, but I think, we get the point. Maybe we can even stop there. Maybe you don't even have to go forward, because I think he's made his point.
Yeah. So who's going to...
Oh, I thought you wanted to say something. But I can say something. Unless MD, you want to say something?
No, you can say it. I'll go after you.
I wanted to say that I don't disagree a lot with Sizwe, because I do agree that already the platforms have regulations. So on YouTube, you can't do defamation. So if I say MD is a woman abuser, MD is a robber, it goes into people's houses, it jumps in and steals stuff, but then we find out that that's not true. I was not telling the truth. I was lying. Then MD has the right to sue me, because now I said something that was not true, but I said it in a way that it sounded true. And then we found out that it's not true. That means that I lied and I tried to character assassinate MD. Then the government does not need to get involved in that, because already through social media, there's laws already within there. But yes, you can also include the courts and whatnot, because it's defamation, you know. But when, just to make another example, if I'm out here, we're doing a podcast, and out of nowhere, I just get naked, then that's not right. because it's nudity. We don't need nudity online like that, especially explicit nudity. There are platforms for that. Social platforms are not for that, right? So maybe that can be regulated.
It is regulated.
Exactly, that's the whole point. It's already regulated. So what is it that the government wants to regulate? What is it?
Like the only thing they want to regulate, according to me, I think they're all about the earning. Okay, like they can say they want to regulate like the freedom of speech, things that you say, things you talk about, things you post and everything. But already like these platforms, they're already like regulating that. So I think they are not being straight and say that, okay, look guys, we know that you are getting more on that side. So now we are thinking that we need to tax you to balance our economy. Because if you can listen to this boy, who's this boy?
Sizwe Mpofu.
Sizwe Mpofu. Oh, he's a son of Dali Mpofu, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. If you can listen to him when he starts his statement, he said that podcast is not a problem. Rather, like you can call it an Iceland for South Africans currently, not only South Africans, and also from those podcasts, they are making good, and they are also contributing to the economy. You see, like he does explain that very well, and he even explains that already these platforms, they already regulated explicitity, nudity, defamation, and everything. So now our parliament or our government, I think he's ducking with I don't know what, but he's okay, not fucking, but like these people are not like these people are not being straight. They must just say, okay, guys, you know that you are doing good, you are earning more, we want to tax you. That's it. They don't need to hide and what now. Abaqonde nje first basho ukuthi njengamanje siyazi nidla imali.
Sifuna imali,
So
sifuna imali.
Siyayifuna leyo mali. Finish.
But you know, with my take on this, from what you've said, guys, I get the money part, and I'm also I would say I'm 40%, 30 or 40% on the money part side. Which is bafuni mali, they want money. But my take on it is on the control side. Like it's beyond money, bro. Because like what I've seen in the podcast space alone, not any other form of content creation, but in the podcast space alone, with this guy, Sizwe Mpofu-Walsh, I'm a subscriber on his channel. I like that guy. You know? So from what I've seen, this guy, just make an example out of him. This guy has been able to host some of the most whatever political figures in the South African political system. And once upon a time, the NC government, if I'm not mistaken, they even barred, didn't want their own members.
Can you put your mic a little bit far away from you, just a little bit? Your mic.
I'm not sure if it's gonna. Maybe I'm speaking too loud. How's it now?
Do it a bit further, a bit.
Okay. Up or now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. So the NC government, no, not the NC government. The NC have barred, stopped some of their members to be hosted on his show because of how influential he is in his political views on certain things. You know, because the podcast space is about expressing your own opinions, being free from everything. So because he has the reason he has, I think maybe if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to look it up. I think more than 300,000 subscribers. They are there for his opinion, and then when he brings all these different political figures, when they get there, no matter how much they lie, he will always dissect, you know, go deeper in those things. Maybe not during that show, something separate, and you break them down. What it is, what's 2 plus 2, you know, break everything down. He has that following of people who want things to be broken down, not in the way the traditional media we will usually break things down. Because of the podcast space, you have freedom of speech, whatever. You are free to express your own opinion. So that's why he has all this opinion, this following. So my thing is, it is 40% or 30% on the money, but most importantly, they are seeing the incoming danger to them. Because, like, when you're free to say whatever you want to say, and you have certain number of people who are following you as you're expressing your opinion, and they are going with that, they agree with your opinion, and then you invite these NC political figures who are supposed to be in charge of the government, and then you question them in a certain way, and then you break it down in a way that normal traditional media would not. So it's a problem for them. It's a threat. So I say 60% or 70% of this whole thing, it's about the freedom of expression, free expression from the independent broadcasters like Sizwe Mpofu-Walsh and whoever is out there, even us, as we are discussing this right now. That's the bigger prize. That's the trophy.
Okay, so now you are trying to tell us that they want to control the podcast, because on podcast we get unfiltered stories. So now they want to give us the scripted stories to hide their corruptness, because like one hide with the push. We all know that South African political field, those people are very corrupt, they are ruthless, they are greedy. You see, they are all criminals, should I say. So now they want to control. Yes, they are criminals. They know that. They know.
That's true, they are, yeah. They know, and we know. Everybody knows, bro.
Everybody knows. It's open secret.
Yeah, it's open secret.
Yeah, everybody knows that we are being led by wrong people. Our right country is led by wrong people. And if you can check on Parliament and even the cabinet, this genuine thing, you can find that 30% of the people who are there are ex-convict, and most of them, they were arrested for fraud, stealing,
corruption,
robbery, and everything. So you can see that these people are capable of anything, and yet they say they are leading a country to the better. So now, like, I really do get this now. Now they want to control the podcast where we get real stories. Because I remember this other time where Gayton Mackenzie was being interviewed. I'm not sure whether it was Penwell or this Sizwe guy. I'm not sure. But I think it was this guy, Sizwe, because he's more focused on politics. And then he mentioned that he was once arrested for, it was fraud, robbery, hijacking. Yet he's the minister. I'm talking about the minister here. A person who's leading, like I would say, a department
of arts and culture, bro.
Of arts and culture. a very high personnel, but he's an ex-convict. Look at this kid. They say if you were once arrested, you are having a criminal record and everything, you can't be employed. But go there, check all those people. You find them they are ex-convicts, but they are there. And they want to control these podcasts because they don't want us to talk about that. They will say, man, bazovuka emaqandeni lawa mesibanika ithuba lokukhuluma ngale nto man. Abahlale bebhayize. Buka ukuthi uma usuna 65, you have to retire. Yet our president is almost 70 something. Not only him, also all those people that are working there on parliament.
In the parliament, yeah.
You see, most of them, they are old, but they don't want us to talk about that. That is why I want to control this podcast thing. They want us to advertise their businesses. These people.
Yeah, and me too as well. I agree with you, MD. I agree with you, Venus. I think it's bigger than money. Yes, 100%. They want the money, They want to take the money from these guys because money, because I don't buy this thing of the economy, because if you're on a YouTube channel and you're making money and you're South African, that's money that is coming from nowhere. Not nowhere, but it's not coming from South Africa, It's coming from the platform YouTube, and YouTube is an American company. So which means if you make money on YouTube, you've brought money into the country.
I think the money that you earn on YouTube, it is the same money from South Africa. Look, if you can check Mark G. Currently he's the big platform in South Africa. And I think he's on top 5 in the top 10 in the world. But most of his subscribers or followers are from here, South Africa, and you cannot stream any video or anything on YouTube without data. You need data. Data is money. It's very expensive. You need to pay for data so that you can stream. So I think it is the same money that our people use so that they can watch his content.
But let me just say this before you come in, Venus. Yes, you are right. But in terms of, when on YouTube, when you are making money, the money that you make, it's from ads. When you're watching a video and you see ads playing.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. Because if you can check all those ads, okay, not all those, but 80% of those are local brands or local companies.
Yes, but those companies, who did they pay for them to have their adverts on YouTube?
They pay YouTube.
And where is YouTube from?
I think, where is YouTube from? Exactly. US.
It's from America.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if they are from South Africa, but if me, for example, I want to have an advert on YouTube, I'm going to pay YouTube for them to put the same way that if you have an advert in South Africa, you pay SABC to play your advert. So I'm going to pay YouTube to play my advert, and then they're going to play my advert through content creators that are similar or around the idea or somewhat, I want this word, but whatever those channels are talking about, it's similar to the product that I'm selling. So if I make music and I want to sell music, so my advert is going to appear on music videos, it's going to appear on music shows, music podcasts, whatnot, because it's a music thing. But if I'm a politician, it's going to appear on ads that are on the news, on political podcasts. So whatever, if it's sports, it's going to appear on sports content, whatnot. So it's going to resemble, or it's going to be put on the platforms that resemble the field that you want to sell. and YouTube does that. So you pay YouTube to push you, and YouTube is an international company. It's just a weapon that is global. We can all use it. So now what I'm saying is, even if the South African company is paying the overseas company to advertise for them, when I get the money, I don't get it from Sunlight. I don't get it from Oros. I don't get it from Dove or whatever that they're selling. So I get the money from YouTube because they paid YouTube and YouTube is paying me to play those adverts. You know? So which means when I get the money, it's not coming from South Africa. It's coming from overseas. Even though
look.
Not only South Africans, Nigerians, Americans, wherever, Switzerland, Russia, whoever that is watching YouTube, or whoever that has a company, they can just buy advertisement from YouTube.
Okay, let me. I've got 2 questions to ask, and these questions are strictly for you, right? Yes. The first question: have you ever come across with the ad? Okay, let's say the product that is being sold where? Maybe Russia or Chile.
No, but
okay. I just wanted the one with answer. Here's the second question.
But I want to add something. Let me add something.
No, I will give you that. I will give you the platform to add. Now, yes. Now I'm going to the second question. I'm going to the second question now.
Okay.
I'll just make a typical example between me, you, and Venus, right? Venus is selling what? Is selling maybe a car. Okay. No, I don't think car is a good example for that.
Cell phone, sneakers.
Yeah. I'll just go straight. Now, there's a man that you need to get from me, right? You need to get money from me, but I can't give you direct due to some circumstances. And I will give the money to Venus to give you. Who gave you the money?
Venus.
Venus, who gave LA the money? I gave you the money. You gave LA the money. Who gave LA the money?
Venus.
I get what you're saying, but who's the owner of the platform? Who's your enabler? Who's your enabler?
But the platform can't just give you money out of the blue.
Yeah.
For no reason. They can't just give you the money. I'm the one who gave LA the money.
Yeah,
the thing is, you.
But here's the thing. You know, even we spoke of our leaders being corrupt. You know, in corruption, there's always a middleman.
Yeah.
You know, so like YouTube, not in a bad way, is a middleman.
Yeah. So now
who connects us, because without YouTube we wouldn't be connected.
Yeah. So I want to give LA the platform to explain his answers, right?
But I want to say something earlier though.
Yes.
You can go ahead.
Right. I got the first answer. He said no. Then I didn't quite get the second answer. But he said Venus, and I went to Venus. Venus, who gave LA the money? I just want the one word answer, then we can proceed.
Okay, maybe I said YouTube, but okay, okay, wait. So like, okay,
one word
advertising.
Explain. One word.
Okay, no, but I'm trying to remind myself.
Who gave LA the money?
Wait, are we sure? wish again faster, more, so that I get the content again of the whole thing.
Right. There's a money that needs to get to LA. Right. I give you the money to give LA the money. Who gave LA the money?
Okay. You gave LA the money, but because it's my platform, I'm the middleman. I gave LA the money.
Oh, okay.
In this case, because I'm sure we are referring to you as YouTube, right?
But you are double
Or
speaking.
me
As
as
an
YouTube.
advertiser. I'm an advertiser.
Don't double speak. Don't double speak, Venus. Say one answer. It's either
Finish.
you or
Oh,
MD.
me. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I want.
MD gave me the money to give it to LA.
My question is, there's a man that needs to get to LA, but I can't give LA money like direct due to some circumstances. Now I have to give you the money. Look, I have to take out my money and give you Venus to give LA the money.
It is coming from you. It is coming from you.
Finish.
You gave LA the money.
Thank you. You can take over LA.
But I'm sure he has another say LA when it comes to that.
I did say, I said I gave them, Venus gave me the money.
Yeah.
But in this case, Mina, I say MD gave you the money. But yeah,
okay.
Let's not drift away from this.
I mean, I can support my point. I can say I gave you the money to advertise my product. I can say that I gave you the money to advertise my product. YouTube gave you the money for what?
I mean, I understand perfectly.
Whose product?
Let me say this, guys. Let me say this. Let me say this. Okay, I'm not well versed with the whole YouTube thing, but here's what I've seen. Excuse me. I'll make an example with Make G podcast. I watch those guys. What happens is sometimes before the show or after the show or in the middle of the show, somewhere there, they would advertise Hollywood's bets. They will even give you what's this thing called, some promo thing, so you get a discount when you sign up. From like my perspective, from how I see things, in that case, I would say Hollywood reached out directly to McG. But sometimes I will watch me again on the same thing, maybe before or after or in the middle. While I'm watching, there's going to be another random advert that's going to come up. And that's why my answer first was in two ways. Somewhere in the middle or in the beginning or towards the end, there will be another maybe Vaseline advert, or Pampers, whatever, And then, to me, the way I see it, I'm not saying I'm right. It's just the way I'm thinking, I'm seeing this thing. I'll be like, okay, maybe there will be the amount that comes directly from YouTube, because it's not included within the Make G podcast. But in the Make G podcast, the other adverts will be within their own recording. I'm not sure if you'll get what I'm saying or if it makes sense what I'm saying.
I hear you.
So to me, the way I see it, I may be wrong, but I say it's a two-way. I don't want to say two-point system. Remember, earlier we were talking about the two-point system. So this is revenue coming in two ways. Hollywood reached out directly to McG, and then there's another ad revenue from Vaseline, if it's Pampers or even that, whatever, coming directly from YouTube. So what you'll say about that? I don't want us to drag on this thing, because I'm sure there's more footages to go through regarding this podcast regulatory stuff.
But let me
regulation stuff.
respond. Let me say my 2 cents, and then we can play another clip. What I want to say about this is the reason why I said if you MD are giving Venus the money, and then Venus gives me the money, and I'm saying that that money I got it from Venus, I didn't get it from you. What I mean by that is that when it comes to YouTube, right? I think maybe Venus, you were trying to maybe somehow mention that as well, but I'm going to try to give somewhat of a broader picture, you know.
Yeah.
So what happens is I have a YouTube channel. Let's say I have 500K subscribers, right? And then if you are a viewer of YouTube, you're watching, right? What you're gonna see? You're gonna see adverts, right? And then you see Vaseline, you're gonna see sunlight, you're gonna see whatever you see. But the thing is, those ads, there's so many companies, bruh. So many companies that want to be advertised through YouTube or Google, whatever. So if you have a company, it doesn't mean that your money came directly to me, because it's not only you that put in the money for advertisement. Range Rover, Dove, Sunlight, Oros, Aromat, Chicken Licken, KFC, all these people, they all put money to advertise on YouTube. So what happens is YouTube receives a lot of money from different companies, and then they use those ads to put into random YouTubers. So that's
based on algorithm.
Based on the algorithm, of course, but also so that the viewers can get to see those adverts, so that they can show the people that, okay, we're making adverts, right?
So yeah, we are posting your things.
Yeah. So when it comes to that, you don't have a choice in what ad you can see, or you can view, or you can show. You're just gonna see, you know. But then there's what they call sponsors. So let's say, for example, Reboost energy drink, for example. Let's say they come to us right now, this podcast here, and they give us a sponsor and they say, look, man, we like what you're doing. We want to sponsor you. But in return, we want you to advertise us, you know, on your platform. So that's different, because they're going to sponsor us. They're going to sponsor watch time, which means we're going to like not dedicate a show to them, but we're going to have a show where we have sponsors. I mean, we have Reboost bottles all around, the logo, everything, because we're trying to advertise them. And then they're going to give us directly the money, because they spoke to us directly. And that's the only time where you can say, hey, like, you got the money straight from the company. But if I'm YouTube and there's so many companies that are giving me money, and then I have my company that has a lot of people that are doing content, and then I just put on ads over there, those content creators don't have a clue where that is coming from, because now it's so much money combined together. You don't even know where this money is coming from at this point. You don't know which money you are getting. So which means at the end of the day, you're just getting advertisement money that is coming from YouTube, because they're not even giving the whole of that money. They're giving you just a percentage, you know. So that's why I think it's different. But then, Venus, were you saying you have 10% left?
No, I was saying 100% on what you're saying, because you said what I was saying, you're going to put it more broader, you're going to expand it more. And I think you did a perfect job on that, because you are right. To what I was referring to when it comes to Make G, Hollywood, you'll find out they are their sponsors. You know what I'm saying? They are their sponsor, and then there are those adverts from like random adverts from YouTube that are going to come. You know, like you said, Vaseline with it's Range Rover, where it's what. So that's YouTube. So that's why my answer earlier on was in two ways. But that sums it up perfectly what you just said. But we have to move along now. I'm sorry to be the time guy. But what I wanted to say earlier.
Okay.
No. Can I finish saying this? There's something you'll say earlier before things we talk too much, but it's a good thing, man. It's good for the platform because this is a good thing about the podcast. We are not timed. Let's say it's a 30-minute segment show. It's an hour segment show. We can go on for 4 hours. That's the beauty thing about this thing. We are not regulated by the. We can.
It's not regulated by the government.
So we can. Exactly. So I don't know.
Yes,
I even lost because we've talked about so many things. There's something MT said earlier, but what I wanted to say, this whole thing is all about regulations, right? The only reason we said it's money, and then I said the other point, maybe my 60%, it's because they want to control. This whole thing, whatever MT said, maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes ago, what he made me think of was that this whole thing, this internet thing is I'm streaming on my phone or whether it's streaming on your computer or your laptop. We don't pay TV licenses. We just buy laptops. We just buy cell phones. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason for TV licenses. There are people who will get SMSs or emails for them reminding them to pay their TV license. So can you imagine how much they are losing, the public broadcasters alone, as more people are attending or shying away from television alone? It's a lot of money because myself, I can't recall I do watch television now and then, but I wouldn't say it's watching. I will just be browsing through channels because it's something I'm not used to anymore. But if I really had to trace back when it was the last time I really focused on television, it's more than 10 years ago, even 15 years ago. So it's TV license. They make money from TV license. If 20 million South Africans are paying for TV license, for how much is TV license? Let's say maybe it's 100 Rand a month. It's 100 Rand once off, or maybe a year. How much money are they making from 20 million South Africans paying TV licenses? Just making an example. So
the fact that there's a TV license in that's like
TV license alone is separate. And then there's DSTV. It's even being purchased recently by a French company. They weren't doing. I don't think they were gonna sell it. They weren't gonna sell it if it was doing so well, but it wasn't doing so well. The French company purchased what? DSTV. Okay, trace back, because DSTV have been reading last year and the year after that, they've been losing 2.7 billion Rand in revenue, which means I don't know how many people, but they're no longer paying for their DSTV. So I can't really pinpoint what MT said earlier, but it was gonna get to the point which made me reaching this point, which is TV license, DSTV, they are losing money, but then again, that's just the private companies attacking the government, stressing the government to do something about this because they are losing out. They don't want to let go of this traditional media thing, the satellite, whatever, television, whatever, because it still has potential according to them. And then here we are on the internet. We don't pay for DSTV. We don't pay for TV licenses. The only thing we gotta pay for is data or internet, for us to watch whatever we wanna watch, So it's a double-edged sword. It's two sides of the same coin. It's the corporate side, and then on the head it's the corporate side. On the tails it's the government side. The corporate side wants to keep their traditional norms or ways of making for them to make money, and then on the government side, they don't want these people to have the freedom of speech to say whatever they want to say, because as much as you know what, this podcasting thing did some damage in the South African political last year's political polls, if I'm not mistaken. Not as much as they did, elections. Not as much they did in the U.S. elections. In the U.S. elections, what's this guy? Mr. Donald Trump. He won because of the podcast space. Yeah, President Donald Trump. He won because he was attending podcast sessions. He abandoned, not entirely, but I would say 80% of his campaign was based on podcasts. And then 20% of his campaign was based on what? Traditional media. And because of that, he won the election. Same thing happened here in South Africa. I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, or last year. You all can correct me on that. You know, things to us, sometimes they come later or earlier. Social, like, I've seen, like, there were a lot of political parties going to Sizwe Mpofu-Walsh platform. And those people who are going there, they did gain some votes in such a way. I'm not saying 100% that that's the cause, but NC lost a lot of votes, and there were a lot lesser NC politicians going across these podcast platforms. So the picture I'm trying to paint here is that on the government side, they are losing the credibility. People can speak whatever they, you know. Yeah, but see, yeah.